Are live. I just did this like 5 minutes ago, except I wasn't live everywhere. Now we're live everywhere, including YouTube. So, what I want to do here is I am on vacation. Normally, I film this at home and I have a nice green screen behind me and I do editing and all sorts of stuff like that. Unfortunately, I'm on vacation. I have no green screen. I don't have any of my tools. I'm not going to take the time to edit this. So, we're doing it live. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through the UFC Vegas 28 card. I will cover our bets, our picks, our plays, anything that we did well, where we didn't do well, and we'll go through all of it. Then I will talk about the fights, and then we're going to talk about the free We Want Picks DraftKings League. We'll see who won and how much money they get from us. If that person is a subscriber, they will get $15 cash money, Venmo, Cash App, however they want it. If they're a member, they will get $30. So if you're watching now, actually, I already know who you are. You reach out to me. But if you're not a member, click the join button, become a member, and you'll get $30 instead of 15. If you're watching this and you want to participate in our free DraftKings contest, there is a link in the description. Join it. We do every single week. It is 100% free to join, 100% free to play. And if every week, if you win, you get $15 for being a subscriber, $30 if you are a member. So let's talk about the fights. It was a fun night of fights. Honestly, overall, the fights were pretty good. There was a couple of absolute fight of the night, maybe fight of the year type wars with Baeza there. The Tom Breeze thing was a disaster. We'll talk about that in a minute. The Jones no contest was very frustrating. We'll also talk about that in a minute. But first, let's talk about our picks and bets and plays and all that. So, for the first time in a very long time, my DraftKings lineup only took home money in one single contest. It was a random, very small 50-50, and the other people were just awful. So I was able to get some money there. I normally take home money in pretty much every single contest I play in. The problem is I had Jones, and Jones dropped, or Jones had that no contest, and that screwed me because if Jones got the 100 plus points he was supposed to get, I would have taken money in every single one of the 50-50s and double ups. Instead, it was a no contest. I got like 30 points out of him. What's up, Jesse? I see you're here. And then Los, I see you're saying, tell Dan thanks for the Ponzinibbio bet. Yeah, so Dan was all over Ponzinibbio. He bet some money. He told you guys to bet some money. So if you followed that, great job. And Jesse said, great success with Monkey Knife Fight. So let me cover how we did. So my DraftKings lineup, like I said, I only took home money in one single 50-50. Jones screwed me. Obviously, I had Sakai, and Sakai lost. But if I got the 100 plus out of Jones, I would have been fine. The rest of my fights did really well. Dan only had a 5-person lineup because he had Tom Breeze, and Tom Breeze dropped. So Dan did really well regardless of the Tom Breeze nonsense. And unfortunately, if you've been watching these for a few months, we've only done this for about 4 months, but if you've been watching, I think I've done this rant about 3 times already. The fact that DraftKings makes you lock in your lineup the very minute the very first fight starts for the rest of the day is absurd. These fight cards are 7 hours, 8 hours long. So I don't know why you can't set your lineup. They want it to be locked in, fine. Let it be locked in. And then if something drops, they should let you pick one of the remaining fighters. Last night, there was 5 fights left. 5 fights left when Tom Breeze dropped. 5 fights means 10 fighters. Anybody that was stuck holding the bag with Arroyo or Tom Breeze, DraftKings should allow you to pick somebody of one of the remaining fighters, or they should just pick the next person for you. I don't know how, but either way, keeping it 100% locked in is stupid, and they need to do something about that. It's getting ridiculous. This is not a baseball game where it's just a couple of hours and they sub people in and out all the time. This is not a football game where, let's say, somebody gets injured halfway through the game. Well, that happens. That's no different than my Jones no contest. Somebody got injured halfway through the fight, and that was it. That happens. This is like literally you only get 6 people in your entire lineup. One of them can't compete, and you have many hours notice. There's absolutely no excuse, and there's no reason that you should not be able to replace that person. So big flaw in how DraftKings does anything. Let me know in the live chat if you got screwed by that. If somehow you had Breeze or Arroyo and that screwed you. Let me know if you had Jones. I had Jones. I wouldn't say it definitely screwed me, but that's not DraftKings' fault. It was a no contest. It is what it is. But let's talk about some bets. So Dan did really, really well in his bets. Dan, he's up 2 full units. So Jesse, you had Arroyo. He was a good low-cost fighter. Yeah, I mean, it's a good pick. You need an option once that fighter drops. So Dan's bets, he's up 2 full units. He hit the money line on Ponzinibbio, Tybura, and Delidze. And then I saw Los, you also did that Ponzinibbio money line, so good job. Dan had a Tybura prop, and he also had a Ponzinibbio Rozenstruik parlay that hit. So Dan did really well. He's up 2 entire units. I hit my 3.5 Latifi bet. I didn't even need it. Latifi won that fight straight up. I did not even need the 3.5 handicap, but I took it anyway, hit that bet. And I also hit the Jones-Patrick fight under 2.5 rounds. But because it was a no contest, they canceled the bet. So it's a little annoying because I was on the right side of it this time. It was definitely under 2.5 rounds. So, I wanted my money. But at the same time, if I was on the wrong side of it and it was a no contest, I'd be furious. So it is what it is. They just cancel the bet and give you your money back. So no skin off my back there. Monkey Knife Fight, on the other hand, did honor that. So I did the less on the Jones-Patrick fight, and I tripled my money. So if you want to place some bets, before I move on to Monkey Knife Fights, if you want to place bets, go to wewantpicks.com/bets. We have a deal with BetOnline. There's a few different options there for you. One is just sign up, and we personally will give you $20. We'll Venmo it, we'll Cash App it, however you want your money, we'll send you your money. Another option is make a deposit, and if you know you're going to go in there and you're going to play consistently every single week, make a deposit. No promo codes, just use that link, and they'll match you up to $1,000. So, lots of free money there. There are some contingencies, meaning they'll give you a bunch of free money, but you have to play that money a few times before you can withdraw it. But either way, depending on what works for you, you want some free money to play with, let us know when you signed up. We'll send it to you. If you know you're going to be playing for a while and you'd rather have hundreds of free dollars up to 1,000, go ahead and use that link. Either way, go to wewantpicks.com/bets. Check out the options tonight. It's a circus act, but it's still a ton of fun. We have the Mayweather Logan Paul fight. We did a full prop bet breakdown video. And honestly, some of those prop bets are hilarious. Are they going to touch gloves? Are they going to have hoods when they walk out? What part of Logan Paul's face is going to bleed first? So lots of cool prop bets. If you got a Saturday night, nothing going on, you want to have a few drinks, make some crazy bets, check out the video, and then go to wewantpicks.com/bets. Let's talk about Monkey Knife Fights. Jesse, in the live chat, you said you made some money in Monkey Knife Fights. So let's walk through how we did. I hit the Jones-Patrick. They did not cancel. It's a no contest. They honor the fight because there's still an outcome. And I had the less there, so I hit that. I had the less on Delidze Staropoli. Hit that. More on Bozer Latifi. I hit that. And more on Salikov Trinaldo. I hit that as well. This seemed to be the week of the more. So I had 2 less that hit. But it does seem to be the week. Let me get some water. It seems to be the week of the more. Obviously, if there's a decision, it's almost every single one's almost going to be more, no matter what. It's the stoppages you got to look out for. I think I'm going to start shying away from playing more less or less more, because as Dan put it the other day, that kind of puts you you need a very specific outcome for that to happen. Like for somebody to hit more, they need to be busy. And then for less, they need to not be busy. Unless those lines are really far apart, you're looking for something super specific. So I think I'm going to stick with more or less, depending on the lines going forward. But Monkey Knife Fight, if you watch these week after week, I know we push it hard. And they're an affiliate. They're a partner of ours. So that's what we're going to do. But the reality is we do it, and we do it every single week. And you literally triple your money. If you play the lines when they first come out, it's 2.5 times because they want them to stabilize, because some of those lines are a little off, so you can attack them early. But if you wait till Thursday or Friday, it's triple your money, and it's worth it. So go to playkf.com/wewantpicks, sign up. If you use promo code WWP, they will instantly match your deposit, and that's just free money to play with. And use the free money if you don't want to use your real money. But either way, you triple your money. Jesse, you tripled your money. Let me know how many you won. I'm curious how many you won. And the best part is with the tripling your money, I just rattled off, I think, 5 that I won. I played 7 or 8. So I lost 3 or 4. It doesn't matter because I won 5 and I tripled that money. So it covers my losses and I'm still up a bunch of money. So it's a ton of fun. There's a lot of room for error, which makes it worth it. It's not like a bet. You win it or you lose it. End of story. There's because you triple your money on every single one, you're good to go. Big Bob Bosson, nice payday yesterday off our advice. Oh, thank you, Big Bob. We appreciate that. Let me know. Oh, 7 out of 10 in Monkey Knife Fights. So I just mentioned you triple your money in Monkey Knife Fights. So 7 out of 10. The pessimist will say, oh, you lost 3. It doesn't matter. You won 7. So you almost tripled your money across the board. You tripled it every single time, and you cover a few of your losses. Ton of money. Ton of money. Great job. Last minute cancellation killed all of Damn It Will's lines. Will, I just went through a full spiel about why that sucked. DraftKings needs to figure something out, and I don't know what to do. If everybody needs a tweet or what, but DraftKings, they locked your line. You don't get to change it. They need to do something. There was 5 fights left when Tom Breeze dropped, which means 10 fighters were left. So they absolutely 100% should have allowed people to, pick somebody else or make it happen. I just covered all the Monkey Knife Fight bets we hit. And Big Bob Boston says you had Tybora at more, or it would have been 8. Yeah, I mean, not early stoppage, but first round stoppage. That's the only times I'll hit the lesses is if I think there's a stoppage. You had bets offsetting each other. So what's funny, Jesse, is last night I did everything. Everything we talk about, we really do. Like, meaning our bets on the screen, those are our actual bets. The Monkey Knife Fight plays, some of them we show, some we don't. The problem is there's literally not enough time to go through 14 fights worth of Monkey Knife Fight plays. But last night I did DraftKings, I did Monkey Knife Fights, and I placed bets. And what's so funny is like the main event, for example, I need something crazy specific happen to win all of them. I need something specific happen to win my bet. I need something specific happen to win in DraftKings. So my bet was over 2.5 rounds. DraftKings, I had Sakai. This didn't go well, so it's a bad example, but over 2.5 round bet. I had Sakai winning in DraftKings, and then the more Monkey Knife Fight. So I needed the fight to go at least 3 rounds, but Sakai to get a finish, but both of them to throw a ton of strikes to get there. So it is funny when you play all of them, which is what I've been doing. So what I should be doing is, saying, all right, I love this for the bet. I'm just going to keep it there. I love this for DraftKings. Nowhere else. I'm going to leave it there. Jacob Lines with the super sat saying, buy myself a necklace. You know why I'm live right now, Jacob? Because you were too lazy to go live last night for everybody else. So I'm here on vacation, going live. My wife and daughter are hiding in one room so they don't end up on the internet. But thank you, Jacob. I appreciate it. I'm keeping that. We're not splitting that at the end of the month like we do everything else. Jessica, hey, you need a Delidze too. Oh, man, I went less on the Delidze. Come on, Jesse. Let's cover very quickly. This was a crazy week for us. So we rolled out the Bet Online stuff this week. So we have a partnership with Bet Online. Go to wewanpicks.com/bets. Bunch of different promo codes. Check out the Mayweather Logan Paul video we did before tonight. The prop bets are a ton of fun, crazy. I'm definitely gonna have some drinks on the couch here and watch that. So we rolled out Bet Online this week. We rolled out our website, wewanpicks.com. It's up. It's a shell. There's not a ton there yet, but it is up. And we're going to continue to add to it. We're going to add some really cool functionality. 2 things we're adding, and I'm actually just waiting for the web developer to give us the timeline and the cost. It's not. One is we're going to give you guys a mechanism to go in there and log your picks. So I don't know exactly how it'll work, but let's say a list of all the fights, and you just select who you think is going to win, and it's going to track them all, and you guys can just keep track of amongst the community who has the best picks. What percentage are you guys running at? So I think it's some cool functionality. Let me know if you think that's stupid, but I think it's some pretty cool functionality. You go in, pick who you think is going to win, and the website will track your username and all of your picks. And then maybe we'll do some giveaways and prizes, who has the best picks on a card or who has the best over time. But I think it's a cool, like a leaderboard, Big Bob Boston, like a leaderboard. So I think it's just a cool way, I don't know, to interact and make it work. Like I said, many, many times, we're trying to build a community. So that's one of the things. The other thing we're going to do for paying members is upload our raw notes. So I take crazy notes. Jacob takes notes. Dan takes notes. So when we film, you see it on Wednesdays. We film on Tuesday nights. We have notes, copious notes. Not everything makes the recording. So those raw notes, we're going to put them on the website, allow members to see those notes. And we're going to create what the goal for the site is obviously you guys watch us. Some of you are watching us because we're entertaining and you just want pure entertainment. Other people just want to hear about fights. But some people are watching because you are going to place bets. You are doing DraftKings lineups. You're going to do your Monkey Knife Fight plays. So you're doing your research, and we are your only tool or one of many tools. What we're going to do on the website is we're going to build fighter profiles. So every single fighter we ever break down will have a profile. Then all of the videos we do, all of the written content we do, we will tag to those fighters. So you can literally go to our site, pull up a fighter, and then once you pull that fighter up, you can go ahead and dig through all of our research, all of our notes. So sort of a one-stop shop to do your research there. So we rolled out the website, big week for us. The website, the Bet Online deal. We also did a full recording with the new software, which I'm on right now. That was scary because anytime you use something new, I literally was like, oh God, we're done. I hope this recording is here and we have it. So we did that. I'm traveling, which complicated everything. And I've got 2 little girls. So it made it very tricky to film on Friday and right now. But luckily we got through the week. It was a pretty successful week when we look at everything that we did across the board. And now this week, we're back on schedule. Everything's normal. We're filming Tuesday, dropping Wednesday. Then we'll be filming Friday, dropping Saturday, and we'll throw some live streams in. We want to do more and more live streams, especially before the fights. Yes, Jacob, I can read the chat from Facebook. That's the beauty of this new software. I could even pin it on the screen. So Jacob from Facebook asked if I could see that comment. So we're live streaming to YouTube and Facebook, and this new software allows me to do that. Guys, every single week, we're just trying to make this better and better for you. So what we're also doing is we are adding our betting guide earlier in the week and our Monkey Knife Fight video earlier in the week, and then we'll do them again at the end of the week. So same thing we do with DraftKings. We do an initial lineup and then a final. We're going to do the same exact thing with the betting guide and the Monkey Knife Fights. And the reason we're going to do that is because those lines move. So we have our initial thoughts, our initial lines, our initial bets. Lines move, things change. We'll add more bets. We'll play more Monkey Knife Fight lines as they move and things like that. So we're adding content earlier in the week. Jacob, stop commenting test. I see them. I just told you I see them. Unbelievable. Anyway, you would think, I don't know where all this free time comes from, Jacob, because when I said, hey, can you live stream? Oh, you're packing. Kid moves in like 3 months. He's packing now. Can't live stream. But here he is in the chat writing tests on every single social media platform in the world. Anyway, hey, Jacob, thanks for joining. So let's go through some of the fights. Actually, before I do, I really genuinely want to thank our members and supporters, specifically Ansi Music, David Ramon, Chris Jory, Denchichi, Jesse Cojera, Lapuzza, Joe Todoro, Logan Garrick, Sweet Spot X, Jordan Bergard, Aaron Reynolds, Brent Hinson, Jill, Juan Valdez, Chris Riley, Kayla Roth, King Rob, Oh My Gosh 1337, Pierre Exelholm, Chris Toronto, Big Bob Boston, and Dave Castillo. Thank you all very much for being members and supporters. And anybody who's watching this live or later, if you want to be a member or support the channel, being a member, click join below. We have a bunch of perks for you. If you want to support the channel, super chat during live streams is great. Otherwise, you can send a tip, and that works as well. Jesse, thank you very much. We really appreciate that. Jesse just donated, and that's huge. Thank you very much. And literally every single dollar that comes in goes right back into the channel, like this new software, like the website. So thank you all very much. Big Bob, I did MKF bets early, and it was only 2.5x. So I think from now on, I'll just do it early Saturday morning before the line. So it's 2.5x for a few days. They call that protected mode because some of the lines they put out, they're not sure about the line, and they don't want people to come in and just hammer them. So what I do is I will always go early. If I think a line is crazy, I'll jump on it early, even at 2.5x. Then as money comes in, the lines move. Once they're stable, which is by Friday, you don't have to wait till Saturday. Friday, the lines are stable, and then you get 3x. then I'll go back in on Friday and place the rest of them. But if I see a line that's off and I know for a fact it's going to move, I'll hit it nice and early. Like a couple of them were pretty low, so I hammered them more and more, and I'll do 2.5x just because I know that line's going to move and it's going to get harder for me to do. I noticed the line didn't move at all Saturday morning for my bets on Thursday. So only Angelo, I look different. Yeah, no hat, and I have a tan. I'm on vacation. They don't always move the line. So they open at 2.5 just to protect themselves. But if a ton of money isn't coming in to move it one way or another, like let's say, half the people did more, half did less, there's no reason to move the line. It's pretty even. But if the whole world jumps on more, that's when they'll adjust it. So they don't always move. But if you feel strongly about a line and you love it, hit it early because it may move. Jessica Haya has a few extra UFC Prism cards to give out to members. Yeah, Jesse, thank you very much. Jesse reached out. Jesse has a bunch of UFC cards. So right now we give out the Dan Kramer, who's the other host of this show. We give out the Dan Kramer cards to members, and we're running low. And I owe one person a card right now. I literally had to buy it, and I'm waiting to get it myself so I can ship it out. So once I get that, you'll get it. But Jesse was gracious enough to say, hey, I have a bunch of UFC cards, duplicates, and things like that, and he wants to support the channel and give them out to members. So Jesse, your support is unbelievable. You're one of our OG members and a great supporter. So we really appreciate that. And speaking of which, I don't know if Jacob's still here after I berated him, but Jacob went out. He spent $100. He thought he was going to get a box of UFC cards, and he was going to open them on the channel. Turns out he got one single card. It was Corey Sandhagen. So he doesn't know what to do with it. If you guys are interested in that card, we can do a giveaway or figure something out. But it's a signed Corey Sandhagen card. He thought that it was an entire box, and he was going to do an unboxing. Jacob's like a gamer, and he watches a lot of Twitch streams, so he likes to do stuff like that. Big Bob, yeah, I'm sure UFC pay-per-view versus a fight night will move a lot more. Yeah, 100%. The best thing about pay-per-views versus fight nights, and we'll cover this in a second, I love pay-per-views with DraftKings because what happens with pay-per-views is you get all the casuals. So you can have just an okay lineup and make a ton of money in the 50-50s and double-ups because the pay-per-views bring out everybody. But now people like us and you guys that are doing your research and trying hard, you have a very good chance to take home some money in 50-50s and double-ups because the regular people aren't great. Jesse, nice job, Jacob. Yeah, he bought that card. And Jesse, you have boxes to open as well. And Christian, I hate Tom Breeze so much. Yeah, so we talked about that, Christian. You probably missed the beginning of this. But basically, it's absurd. If a fight drops and there's still fights left, in this case, there were 5 fights left, which means 10 fighters to pick from. If a fight drops and there's still fights left, there's absolutely zero reason why DraftKings cannot figure out a way to either pick the next person for you or let you pick somebody. It's absurd that you're sort of stuck on the bag. UFC is not like other sports. Football, if somebody, like, I don't know when they make you lock in your lineup for football, but if the game starts and you have a player drafted, you're good. Like, you draft the player, they're in your lineup, the game starts. My daughter's crying. My wife's going to tell me that I'm the loud one. Hold on. Let me take care of this very, very quickly. All right, I'm back. That's the beauty of being on vacation while doing a live stream, and my youngest daughter's sleeping and started screaming. So let me back up here. Jesse, you have some more boxes to open. Jesse, listen, let me know when you want to do that. We can do it live if you want. This new software allows us to invite guests. I can literally send you a link. You can join by video and you can unbox these cards yourself if that's something you'd like to do. You're a giant supporter and I appreciate it. Christian Rodriguez, if I switch Montana De La Ross for Tom Breeze, I would have taken down a tournament. Yeah, if it's the same price and those fights are left, it's stupid. There's literally no reason. This isn't football or basketball where I talked earlier about it. I had Jones versus Patrick. That was a no contest, but the fight happened, or part of it happened, and there was an injury and there was a no contest. Fine, that happens. That's not DraftKings' fault. That's the same thing if somebody breaks their leg in the first play of a football game. But that's not what MMA is. There's literally, in some cases, 7, 8, 9 hours from when you have to lock your lineup to the time that one of the dropped fighters may fight. And it's stupid. There's no backup. They do it for NBA. Yeah, they do it for NBA. I've been doing DK for the playoffs last week, and players only lock when the game starts. Yeah, and that's the difference. So they lock UFC from the very first fight. But every single fight is a different fight. So you should, there's got to be a better way to do it. I understand locking a football game when the football game starts, NBA when the basketball game starts. MMA, we're talking 7, 8, 9 hours. It's absurd to lock it that early. Jesse, you're down. All right. We'll figure it out. Let me talk to the other guys, and we'll figure out when to do a live stream. Probably on I don't know when. Let me talk to the other guys. 2016, $200 each. My goodness, Jesse. You know what's crazy? I had a little off topic, but we're live, so who cares? I had a room dedicated before I had a wife and kids. I had a room dedicated to MMA memorabilia. So I've managed professional fighters for a very long time. And what I would do is, I was a fan before that, I would get pieces of memorabilia. We'd go to Bellator, I'd keep the bottles. We'd go to UFC, I'd keep the towels. And I had stuff like that. And I would meet fighters along the way, and people would give me things. And I would also collect stuff. So I had a room. If you go on YouTube, maybe I'll put the link in the description, actually. So it's literally a room. I had the outside of the double doors that open painted with the UFC logo. And inside, I had a cage built. And then there was memorabilia hanging from the cage on the wall, stuff like that. I had fight-worn shorts. I had Matt Hughes' shorts and gloves from when he won the belt. All sorts of crazy memorabilia. And then I got married, and that was the end of it. So we moved, had kids. I sold it all. All right, yeah. So Jesse, you're driving. Don't look at your phone. So let's talk about the fights very, very quickly. So let me pull these. Actually, sorry, before I move the fights, I thanked all the members and the supporters. You guys have been phenomenal. Every dollar that comes in goes right back out, whether it's a super chat, a donation, or a member link. So click the join button to become a member. It's incredibly helpful. And we got a lot of things coming up, especially the website. And then we will talk about fights. And what a great segue. We'll show this. We'll throw this up. So Christian, you said Dan was right about Ponzinibbio. Dan was right about Ponzinibbio. Dan bet on Ponzinibbio. Dan picked him to win. I think he had him in his lineup. Dan was all over Ponzinibbio, and he was right. I'm glad you took that advice. I'm glad you won some money. And Dan's great at this. Dan's a professional fighter and has trained with some of the best people on the planet. So his picks are very, very good. Nobody bats 1,000, not in MMA. That's impossible. But Dan's going to be better than anybody out there with some of these things, especially these underdog picks. He was really high on Kirk as well. So he had Kirk winning. And what's funny is somebody came into the comments over Amir Khani, and somebody came into the comments, I think it was Kirk himself, like, you guys are idiots, you don't know what you're talking about. And he said that because I opened it up with, these odds are very far apart, and Amir Khani's a big favorite, and I think he should be. And I think he just turned it off then and commented, you guys are idiots, you don't know what you're talking about. Kirk had a broken rib his last fight, and now he's better, blah, blah, blah. But I was like, dude, did you watch the whole video? Because Dan was all over the Kirk pick, and he even placed a bet on Kirk. We didn't talk about it because he didn't put it on the screen, and you're gonna think I'm just lying. But anyway, Dan was all over Kirk and Ponzinibbio. We'll see you, Big Bob. All over Kirk and Ponzinibbio. So hopefully you guys took some of that advice and made some money there, especially those underdog picks. But the Ponzinibbio fight was awesome. And he did not look good the first round. That did not look good for him at all. But he came out with those leg kicks, forward pressure, nice jab. He came out getting the leg kicks, but then forward pressure, that nice jab, took that away. And he looked great, and he came back. It was not looking good for a little while there, but he made it happen. So good for him. He looked fantastic, and it's just I always love seeing when somebody can sort of overcome a bad round, and that's the difference. The experience there was he had it, and it showed. Delidze. Delidze looked fantastic. So Delidze's last fight against Giles, he comes marching forward, throwing bombs. You basically saw no grappling out of him in that fight. He definitely was powerful, and you can tell he enjoys fighting. But that was a problem in his last fight. And I thought he won his last fight. It was a bad decision. But that was still a problem because he didn't do what he needed to do to win the fight. This was very different. He did exactly what he needed to do to win the fight. It sounded like the announcers were throwing a temper tantrum over Delidze, with the control, but not being too busy. But at the end of the day, Delidze won that fight. He was dominant start to finish. And I think he looked really, really good. I will continue to play Roman. I will continue to bet on him with the power in his hands and his grappling ability. When he is there mentally, meaning he knows he needs to win, he's not just trying to have some fun, he's going to be a very hard guy to beat. So Roman looked fantastic. I'm very happy. I had him in my DraftKings lineup. I rearranged my entire DraftKings lineup for Roman and for Manon. And Manon obviously looked great, scored 120 points. I'm so glad I did that. So they were both in there. They did well for me. I only got screwed because of the Jones no contest. And then we have the co-main event. Dan was really high on Tybura. I had Tybura winning as well. I didn't put him in my lineup. But I did have Tybura winning, and he looked good. It's funny because I also, if you watch the betting breakdown, I placed a Walt Harris buy stoppage bet. I only did a quarter of a unit on there because I did not think that was going to happen. But it's like, hey, man, at these odds, with Walt Harris's power and his first round finishing ability and the history of that, you never know. So I threw that up there just to protect myself. It didn't happen, which is totally fine because I had Tybura winning the fight. But I got to say, man, if Tybura's chin wasn't the granite chin that it is, he doesn't get through that. I mean, Walt Harris looked pretty good. Walt Harris cracked him a few times, like genuinely looked good. I thought for sure he was going to get that stoppage. So he looked good. I almost felt bad for him that he didn't get it. He was so close. But once Tybura caught that leg and took him down, that was the end of it. He just sort of ground him out, used the top pressure, and made it happen. I feel so bad for Walt because, especially in heavyweight, and he'll be around for a while because he does have a fun style and he can knock anybody out on any given day. He needs to figure out. I don't want to, listen, I guarantee in the training room, he can wrestle, he can grapple in the training room. I guarantee it. But I think he needs more confidence there. I think he needs more scramble drills, but something that will enable him to do what he does in the first round, get in some trouble, and still work his way out. But either way, I'm not going to take anything away from Walt Harris. We knew Tybura was a grinder, and he almost put Tybura away. At least that's what it looked like. But to Tybura's credit, I think it's 5 fights, 6 fights, 7 fight win streak or something like that in the heavyweight division is not an easy thing to do. So Tybura looked really, really good as well. And then we have the main event, Rozenstruik versus Sakai. This was a really interesting one. I thought Sakai was going to win. I just thought his forward pressure, his Muay Thai style, I really thought he was going to be in Rozenstruik's face and make something happen. And the first 3 minutes, it's like, okay, here's Rozenstruik doing nothing, sitting back. And then he obviously started to push forward, and you could tell Sakai was not comfortable backing up. So while he was backing up, his hands would do weird things, and he wasn't comfortable. And Rozenstruik made it happen. Christian Rodriguez with the Walt Harris always gives up. I wouldn't say Walt Harris gave up. He definitely didn't look good, and when he got to the ground, he was way outclassed. I wouldn't say he quit, right? I don't think there was a way out for him, and he took it. I think he was that was it, man. He got beat, and he had nowhere to go, nothing to do, and the ref stopped it. Harris had over 21 and a half strikes for mid. Yeah, that's impressive. Yeah, because I mean, there wasn't much time left, so that's a lot of strikes. And then Eric Nelson, two prices that really stick out for this week's card: Hooper 7,800 versus Peterson, and Riddell at 7,700 versus Dober. Two cheap fighters that could win. Yeah, so we haven't done our breakdown. We'll film it Tuesday. We'll drop it Wednesday, and I haven't done we've done the analysis on the fights. I haven't done the draft piece just yet, but yeah, absolutely. It's funny because Dober, we picked against Dober when he fought. Who did he just fight a few months ago? It was Zabit, something like that. People were like attacking us. We're like, Dober's live, but Dober is not like, the whole world thought Dober was like, this is it. He's gonna do it. He's gonna get it done. I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. But yeah, Riddell, Hooper versus Peterson and Riddell versus Dober. Yeah, I mean, 7-something thousand, and I got to look at those prices. And honestly, I'm going to go Vettori in the main event. I think Vettori wins that fight. I think not that anything has changed in Adesanya's game, but I think losing to Jan, and I don't even want to say exposed Adesanya's grappling, but it certainly highlighted that really is a path to victory, is the grappling piece. So I think Vettori will be even more singularly focused on the grappling to make that happen. Jacob and I got big time killed on the Baeza pick. You didn't get that pick. That didn't happen. But I mean, was that not an unbelievable fight? So it's funny because it's very easy. This always happens to us, right? We put our necks on the line. We do 2-hour videos breaking down every single fight. This week, 14 fights, 2-hour videos breaking them all down. There's always one cheese pocket that will come back on Sunday and be like, oh, you're an idiot. You got this wrong. Okay, you break down every single one of these fights. List out your picks. We'll compare yours versus mine, and we'll see who won. The Baeza one is interesting because that was a great fight, and Baeza looked fantastic. So you got killed, meaning you didn't win. The pick was wrong, and if you bet, you didn't win the bet. I bet on Baeza. I didn't win that bet. At the end of the day, watching that fight, was that a bad bet? Absolutely not. Was it a bad pick? No way. That was a good fight. Baeza looked great. It just didn't go his way, and that's just how some of these things go. A bad pick would be what would have been a bad pick yesterday? If you picked against Roman Dolidze because like, oh, Roman was slow in his last fight. Listen, you can't do a fight breakdown off the last fight that you watched. You got to look at everything, their whole career for both people, and then you can do styles make fights and do that analysis. So, yeah, the Baeza fight did not go your way, but honestly, it was a good fight, and Baeza looked fantastic, and Baeza the type of guy I would pick again in the future. Christian Rodriguez, Nate Diaz at plus 240. Yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting one. I don't know if it's interesting because I just don't think Nate Diaz can win that fight. I just don't. He doesn't have power. He has no wrestling whatsoever. He has jiu-jitsu, but is he really going to submit him? I don't know. We'll see what happens to that line. I would need it to be higher than that to honestly be confident in Nate Diaz. I talked about it earlier. The issue sometimes is I will bet on fights, I will do DraftKings, and I will do Monkey Knife fights. So if I have the same fighter in all three of those, I'm rooting for an incredibly specific outcome. Like, oh, I need this specific thing to happen to win my bet. I need a ton of points out of them for DraftKings, and I need either a few strikes or a ton of strikes for the Monkey Knife fight. So I think what I'm going to do with Nate Diaz, I'm not going to bet. He might be a decent DraftKings play because he might score some points with all those pepper shots, but definitely 100%. I would be doing Monkey Knife fight. I don't care what the line is, more. Jordan Levitt was a bad bet, says Christian Rodriguez. And Jordan, you're not wrong. And what's funny is Jordan, if you watch his other videos or his fights, he is a relentless grappler. And you saw that last night, a relentless grappler. DraftKings, he scored like 60 points in that loss. The problem is he sucks. He sucks. He should, and I'm being very harsh. He doesn't suck. His grappling is actually pretty good, but he should leave MMA and become a grappler. 100%. Like, It almost looked like it was in slow motion. He was willing to roll with anything, just wanted to grapple, grapple, grapple. Totally fine if you're Damian Maia, but that's not what happened here. It was grapple, 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 got exhausted, and then lost the fight. So yeah, Jordan Levitt was a bad bet. Would I say people picking him to win was bad? No, that wasn't like. I would not say it was a bad pick to say Jordan Levitt would win, only because he was winning that fight and then he got exhausted. But it's funny because Dan and I always argue about this because I'm like, Dan, we need to make picks. You need to say who your pick is. And he's like, pick, who cares about the pick? He's like, picks only matter for bets and DraftKings. Who cares if you say this person's going to win the fight if you're not betting on him or putting on DraftKings? And there is some validity to that, but I'm like, we got to pick. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You got to make a pick. So Jordan Levitt's one of those guys where, he may come out next fight and his grappling will be killer. He'll get that weird bend over single. He'll finish it and he'll submit the person in 1 minute, and everybody will be like, yeah, he is good. I knew he was good. But Jordan Levitt was not the not the greatest bet in the world. Now let's take a quick look. Let me go ahead, share the DraftKings window. We'll take a quick look at the free DraftKings League. So, any of you people who are new here and don't know, we have a free DraftKings League. There is a link in the description below. Join the league. We do a free contest every single week. This week, it looks like 60 people played. The winner gets $15 from us. We will just Venmo you or PayPal or Cash App, whatever you want, $15. If you are a member, which means you've clicked the join button below, we'll send you 30. We'll double it. $30 is 6 months free of the membership. So it is worth it for sure, and it's tremendously helpful for us. So let's take a look. K. Drawl with 578 points went 6-0. A quote-unquote perfect lineup. So congratulations. Let me know how you want your money, and I will send you money. I'm 99% sure you are a member, so I will be sending you $30. You had Rozenstruik for 106 points. I was the other way on that one, but obviously you were right, and that worked out well for you. You had Delidze, lock. I had Delidze as well. Ponzinibbio versus Baeza. That was a great fight. Awesome fight. Ton of back and forth. Ponzinibbio, $7,900. Worth it. Scored 78 points. Rodriguez, I also had Rodriguez over Todorovic. I thought Rodriguez was a great underdog pick of the week, and he was for 76 points. Then you had Montana De La Rosa, 111 points. The only reason I didn't do Montana is $9,300 was a ton of money, and I went with Jones. In hindsight, I should have gone Montana. Jones was going to win by stoppage, but that no contest kind of screwed me. But Montana looked great, 111 points. And then you have Manon Ferro, 120 points. We talked about it. Anytime somebody gets a last-minute replacement, that DraftKings does not change the values. They've said Manon is worth $8,500. That's what Manon costs, no matter who her opponent is. They could have subbed in Amanda Nunes, and she would have been $8,500. They could have put a kindergartner in there, and she would have been $8,500. Either way, Manon scored 120 points. I literally rebuilt my entire lineup around her because I knew that would happen. So let's go ahead and check some of these comments. Chris Toronto went 5-0 and had Breeze. That is brutal. Listen, if you went 1-4 and then had Breeze, well, all right, who cares? It was a sinking ship. 5-0, you could have had a 6-0 lineup. That could have been the difference if you did a big contest. That could, if you had Montana instead, I don't know if you could have afforded Montana, but if you had Montana instead of Breeze, who knows what money you could have made. So that is brutal. We talked about it earlier. They 100% need to fix that. It is a problem. When an event is 7, 8, 9 hours long, you should not have to have your lineup locked in that far in advance. What else we got here? Great picks last week, guys. Thanks, Chris. We really appreciate that. We will be filming Tuesday night, dropping Wednesday for this week's pay-per-view. But thank you for that support. And then, Chris, again, I told you guys that Jordan wasn't a good wrestler. I knew Jordan Levitt was a trash wrestler. I knew that. I mean, it just bent over, grabbed the leg. That was awful. But the nonstop, the relentlessness is what made him appealing. And he was relentless, absolutely nonstop relentless. If he had more gas, he would have won the fight and scored a ton of points, no matter how ugly it was. But he ran out of gas and he lost. But he scored 50 something points basically in a round and a half, because then he did nothing after that. Because takedowns in DraftKings are 5 points. Even if it's a sloppy bend at the waist single, it's still a takedown and it's still 5 points. And then King Rob, the Breeze drop was terrible. Luckily, still came out net positive. Good. I'm glad to hear. I didn't have Breeze. Breeze didn't screw me, but the Jones no contest did screw me. I got 30 points out of it, where you got 0 out of Breeze. But I should have gotten 120 or something like that. So that was a hard pill to swallow, but it is what it is. So let's go back to the fan DraftKings contest. So first place, Kayla, reach out. Let me know how you want your money. We will send you your money. 578 points, perfect lineup. Second place, you were not affected by the Breeze drop. Second place, Gasson 86-2001. You had Tybora, 111 points. Delidze, Baeza, De La Rosa, Kirk, and Fierro. So solid lineup. You went 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 1, which is a good lineup. One of these I looked earlier. Where is it? Maybe not. I thought somebody went 6 and 0 and ended up in third place. Either way, another great week for the league. Kayla, reach out. We will get you your money. I'm going to drop here soon, so if anybody has any more comments or anything you want to talk about, let me know. Otherwise, I'm dropping in a few. Make sure you check out the website, wewantpicks.com. On the website, we're adding all sorts of features and functionality, but we also have all of our affiliate links. So if you want free money to bet with, go to the betting page. If you want your free Monkey Knife Fight promo and that free money, go there. But everything you could ever need is going to be on the website. We're adding features and functionality. We are going to give you guys a pick leaderboard. We're going to let you pick fights. Log in, pick your fights, and then we will track your success and have a leaderboard, see how you guys are doing week over week. We have a dedicated live stream website, wewantpicks.live. So if you're watching right now, go to that live stream website, see what it looks like. But we're going to be, changing that, making it prettier. But it's basically the live stream with all sorts of ways to interact with us around it. True that. He did score points. Very true. Yeah. So Chris, you must be talking about when I said I had Jones. Jones had 30 points. So I at least got something. Oh, no, you're talking about Jordan Levitt. Yeah, Jordan Levitt scored some points. Looked awful doing it, but he scored some points. So either way, we have a big pay-per-view week ahead of us. So we are filming on Tuesday. So we're dropping for Wednesday. So I'll just say Wednesday. On Wednesday, our full 2-hour breakdown video, a betting guide, an initial betting guide, a Monkey Knife Fight lines for the initial lines that have opened up, and of course, our opening DraftKings lineups. Then on Friday and Saturday, we film Friday. I usually get 1 or 2 videos up Friday. The rest go Saturday. We'll do the final DraftKings, the final betting guide, and the final Monkey Knife Fight. So let me know your picks. Again, if you're not a member, become a member. It is tremendously helpful. If you want to place bets on tonight's Mayweather versus Logan Paul fight, go to wewantpicks.com/bets. We have a bunch of links there to get you some free money from us or free money from them. And we have that video breaking down all the ridiculous props. That'll be a ton of fun. Yeah, so King Rob, I hit less on that, and then they paid us. So I also bet on that fight, and the betting site refunded my money, saying, no, it's a no contest. Here's your money, no bet. Monkey Knife Fight honored it. So less, I'll take it all day. I tripled my money. I tripled my money with Monkey Knife Fight. So anybody that's watching either live or later, if you have not done Monkey Knife Fight, it is daily fantasy. It is awesome. You triple your money. All you have to do is pick who's going to throw more strikes. Easiest thing in the world. Go to playmkf.com/wewantpicks. It is for all sports. All sports. It's not just MMA. We're focused on MMA. But if you're a baseball fan, basketball fan, same lines. same props. And then Muhammad Boston, Breeze needs a new job. I don't want to dog the guy because I don't know what's going on in his life, but this is the third time he has pulled out of a fight the same night of the fight. So I think I read in 2017 it happened, no reason. 2019 he had a panic attack in the locker room, so the fight was canceled. They did not say what happened last night. That I don't know, maybe it was another panic attack, maybe he literally hurt himself, sick, COVID. I don't know. They just said medical issue. So if it's a panic attack, then yeah, this is an incredibly stressful sport, and it's not something that is for. I'm trying to choose my words wisely, but yeah, I mean, if it was something to do with anxiety and the pressure, then yes, this is not the sport for Tom Breeze. Incredibly talented, he can be a coach, cornerman, something like that. But the pressure of fight night is a problem. Listen, I couldn't be a professional fighter. I wrestled my whole life. I was able to do that because a wrestling tournament, you go out there, you wrestle, you show up, you wrestle 5, 6, 7 people, depending on the tournament in the day, and you go home. The issue with MMA, because I went from wrestling to jiu-jitsu and I thought I was going to become a professional fighter. That's how I met Dan and started managing Dan, is because I was heading down that path as well. And the pressure was an issue for me. I was like, 6 weeks from today, I have to get into a fist fight in 6 weeks. That's like 6 weeks of like, oh my God, somebody's going to try to kick the crap out of me in front of my friends and family. And I was like, I don't need this. Wrestling, I wrestled my whole life. Jiu-jitsu tournaments, I've done tons of them and love them. Actual fist fight, not for me. So Tom Breeze, if that same struggle and stress got to him this fight that it did in 2019, then yes, he needs to do something about it. And DraftKings needs to do something about the cost or the lineups when that happens. So either way, thank you all very, very much for the support. If you are not a member, consider becoming a member. Click the join button. If you like what we got going on here, send a tip. Go to WeWantPicks.com. There's a tip button at the top. Send a tip. Do a super chat. We genuinely appreciate it. Every dollar that comes in goes right back into the channel for all of our giveaways and everything else. Join the DraftKings League that we have in the description. We already have the contest ready for Saturday. Join it. And if you win, we'll send you money. Thanks for watching, and we will see you this weekend.